Hello, everyone. Welcome for the August Wise Ones Wisdom Update. I am excited to bring them back today. They have been kind of giving me piecemeal information about what's going on in the last 2 months. Last month in July, I did an Andromeda Council update, so you can all listen to that. This month is the Wise One's Wisdom. I'm going to keep alternating, I've decided, because my exciting news is that I am back to being able to work on my book again. I am taking 11 days off from the day job and I am going to start writing because it's starting to formulate and it's starting to come together. And I've read what I wrote 10 years ago and it's right on target. And I have the flow of how to move forward with this. And what's interesting is the book is about how to unconditionally love you. And that's been my journey. And I know now that I wasn't delayed from writing it. I wasn't being lazy. It was still formulating. It was still coming together. I was still learning to the nuggets of wisdom that are meant to be within the book. And I am excited to birth it. My intent is to have it done by the end of the year and published. So please, everyone, all those beings, all those beautiful beings, wise ones, help me accomplish that because I truly feel that it is something that is immensely important to the world. I called into a radio show in 2011, and for any of you who know Steve Rother and the group, it's the Ascended Masters that he channels wisdom for. And I called in about guidance for my work. I just didn't know how to get it out into the world and seen and heard. And well, it was all inspiring because he just said, "Oh my God, they just showed me your connection to light, your connection to divine. Do you have any idea how pure and open your heart is to this information?" And I said, "Yes, I do. I do know." And he said, "My dearest one, the world isn't ready for this information yet. It's too high vibrational. They are not ready for this wisdom yet. Hold on, do whatever you can to hold on. I see the challenges, I see the hurdles being put in your way. Do whatever you can to hold on because one day the world will need this wisdom." I just started to cry. I just cried and cried, and I've held on to those words for the last 12 years. When I've wanted to quit, when I've wanted to walk away, when I've told God, "You have other people, let them do it, I'm done," those words keep coming back to me. And so I do believe that now the world is ready. It's time for the world to hear about unconditionally loving yourself. Because do unto others as you would want them to do to you. If you don't love you, you're not going to care that somebody else is treated well. If How can you love your neighbor as yourself if you don't fully love yourself? You're never going to love your neighbor or accept your neighbor. How many people haven't accepted themselves? Most importantly, what came to me last month when I was reading through my notes and what I've written. The theme of my work, you've heard me and the wise ones and God talk about over and over and over, and it was a lesson that I learned in 2000. I learned how to love myself for who I am and who I'm not. And that was the real bottom line. Loving myself for who I am not. And that's the thread of the book on how to unconsciously love you. So I'm so excited to start writing. I just wish I could get up every day and write. Unfortunately, that's not the case yet. One day, I am praying that that is the case, that I can just sit down because it will be a series. I intend to have a series of books on divine guidance from love. This one's How to Unconditionally Love You. And then I will have a series of books, Adventures of the Multiversal Shaman, and all of the wisdom that I have learned from the multiverses, from other galaxies, about about our brothers and sisters out there, about the love that's out there, as well as the harmful intent, the energy that's void of love, is what I like to call it. It's void of love or forgetting love. So that will be another series of books that come out. And then there's the Wise One's Wisdom book. So I have started four. Uh, it's a matter of having time to just sit and do it. So there's the scoop right now. That said, the wise ones want to come forward. So let's bring them in. I am going to tone today. Wise ones, what would you like me to tone for? Peace. I think that's what we did last month. Peace and acceptance. Acceptance of what is. Yaya totoko no. Yanini mata kai yo. Kaya to. Kaya to. Yo no ko no. Yo no ko no. Kai chi yo no. Nya ka chi kom. Tia ka chi kom. Nyakati no yanaki tom yanati kom nati. Nyati Hachitoe na takayena na makochitae ya tatikia ni tiochio takanata. Haya haya chia na mania kaati. Yohona chititia katoe matatai chitia nati. Kiataki. Kiataki. We accept others as we accept ourselves. We accept life as we accept ourselves. We accept truth as we accept ourselves. As we accept ourselves, we will accept others. That is the key. That is the place of peace. That is the truth that shines the light. Namaste. Oh, so that was wisdom coming from another life language that I have known. And it's one of my higher selves that just came in. Interestingly, somebody just asked me about my light language toning and what it represented, and did I know what I was saying? Did I know what it meant? Usually not. That was just an example of yes, that's what the wisdom was that came forward. So let me explain to everybody because I'm sure there's other people who don't know what light language is. And my understanding, my truth, I know there's a lot of people with different truths out there. Okay. So my truth and what I have been taught and what I know as in my intuitive self, my first eye knowledge, is that there are multiple things that light language represents. It is of the light. It is of the truth. Number one, the reason for light. It is also a vibration. Think about it. There was, if you have sound waves, it will move molecules. You've all seen those studies they do where there's a pile of sand and then they start the toning sounds and the sand just starts to take these beautiful shapes. And you've seen the water molecules that Dr. Emoto did and other people are working on right now, where they project an intent. You put love on the water and then you let it there for a little while and then you freeze that and you slice it and you see what the crystalline form is of that water as a result. And it's shocking. Like polluted water is distorted and black and brown, and you have water from love, or some of the music that has been developed, some of your high vibrational music, and the crystals are just gorgeous. It's like the most gorgeous crystal you'd ever want to see in your life. Water has memory. Water holds emotion. So, light language is a vibration and it moves energy. And literally, when I have an audience in front of me and I'm doing light language, I can see where there's density in the room, where I have to project a vibration to lift the people in that area of the room or what's going on. And then I'm shown the area of where I'm at. And then I'm shown the country or the world. And I will tone. And sometimes I'll even say to people, this is for the world. This is for the water. This is for the earth. This is for the sky. And I will start to tone. And that's the imagery I see. And you always hear me set an intention before I tone. I remember driving down the road to work, and all of a sudden I'd be told to tone, and I would start to tone, and this beautiful music would come through me and these vibrations. And one day I finally said, "What is this about? Like, what am I doing?" And they said, "You're clearing the energy in that area." I went, "Oh, thank you." I, I love that. I love to sing. I love to tone. I always wanted to be a Broadway actress singing and dancing on stage. Um, so now I'm a multiversal shaman singing on a YouTube channel. So yeah, who knew? Who thunk? Who thunk it? I certainly didn't. So there's the scoop about light language, and you just got to see a different distinction. Anybody who listened to my radio show, you heard all kinds. I mean, there would be like Native American that would come through. There would be Oriental that would come through. There would be languages from other galaxies that would come through. It's all dependent on what is needed at the moment. So now, that said, that made me really thirsty, guys. Hold on. Okay. That said, let's bring forth the wise ones. And I am sure that they are going to have more wisdom, maybe about that, whatever else. So, oh, here we go. Namaste, everyone. We are so incredibly excited to be back. Ah, we would really push Karen more to do more of these, but we know she's been really overwhelmed with other responsibilities. So we are thrilled that we get to be here in August and at least every other month, since it's kind of challenging for her to do two of these a month. Okay, that said, we are excited for her to be writing. That's why we're not pushing her right now. We are going to definitely support this book, and we are going to have her bring pieces of wisdom from the book into each of these shows. She just shared with you the theme of the book, but we want to give you another nugget that she wasn't going to tell you. So the other nugget that she is working on right now is telling stories of how she learned things about herself, different skill sets about what she understands, how she learned different things, what happened in life that made her realize something or choose to be a particular way, choose a certain quality and essence about herself. And as she explains them in the book, it will be a workshop for you to look at those places in your life. Did you learn that? Is there a place in your life that you maybe developed that same skill? And that's how you will get to the end of the book better learning how to more profoundly love you, each other, the world, all beings, and all of your brothers and sisters throughout the multiverses. She forgot to tell you she created that intentional framework. Even if you see it, hear it, pick it up, visualize it, somebody reads it, no matter what, her intention is that you will walk away more profoundly able to love you and all others and all that is. So, there you go. That's what we're telling you. We're giving away that secret. All right. What else? There's so much else. There is so much else. Last time we talked to you, we said that you should unplug from the matrix and plug into source. Okay? How you been doing with that? The world hasn't made it easy, has it? No. No, no, no. Fires in Canada, fires in Greece, Japan letting go of wastewater, Lahaina and the horrible fire. And then you have the chemical spills that nothing has been done. You have the humanitarian crisis at the border. You've got a war in the Ukraine that's affecting all of Europe. Ultimately, there's ripple effects, always ripple effects to all of these events. I mean, think about that. That's almost every continent. There's been flooding in Australia. There is that natural. What is happening? What is happening in your world? We want to remind you of something that we said back in 2017, somewhere around there, maybe before, lots after. We want to remind you of something we brought forth at that time. Somebody had called into the radio show and they wanted to know, when are we going to be in 5D? When is it going to happen? Now, that was 5 years ago. Not there yet. What we want to say is there are two amusement parks in your world right now. There's the 3D amusement park and there's the 5D amusement park. Some of you will remember this analogy. You go to the 3D amusement park and you get on a ride and yeah, it's okay. It's a little slow, but it's working. Yeah, it was kind of fun. All right, you go to the next one. Wait, they're missing a part? It's not work. It's closed right now for maintenance. You go to the next one, well, that one's being torn down. And then there's this one over here. Wow, that's a lot of money. That costs a lot of money. Why is that ride so expensive? And you kind of see things are looking old and shabby, and the paint's peeling, and things are rusted, and yeah, it's not what it used to be. It's not its old glory days anymore. And then you go to the 5D amusement park, and you walk in and you go, wow. Look at all this beautiful stuff that's being built. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Oh, I'm gonna go over here. Look at this ride. Oh, it's not finished yet. All right. Well, what about this ride? It's waiting for a part. Okay, so I'm gonna go to this. Oh, that ride's working. This was so great. It was so much better than the other one in the 3D world. This one's so much better. And then you go to the next one, and it's kind of slow, not up to par yet. And there wasn't enough staff in either park. You couldn't get the answers you needed and wanted. And the 5D is still kind of costly. Huh. Bottom line, the old world's coming down. The new year world's being built. Neither one is working right yet. Neither one is working right. And then we go back to the old native saying, which wolf are you going to feed? Which park are you going to feed? Which dimensionality are you going to focus on? And we're going to say, unplug from the 3D amusement park, plug in to the 5D park. That's where the power, the source, the vibrancy, the everything is. That's where you're going to feel and expansion. Because let's just make it really clear right now what's going on. The 3D world is deconstruction, deconstructing. The 5D world is in construction mode. The construction mode is where it's going to expand. The 3D world is going to constrict and contract. So you really, really, really want to be focusing over there. Don't focus over there. Okay? That's the most important thing we can tell you. Again, unplug out of the chaos, plug into peace. So we're going to ask, how many of you are feeling inflamed? How many of you are hurting? How many of you have aches and pains? How many of you are exhausted, have fatigue, are feeling just like a doggy paddling through life right now? Karen's raising her hand. um, you're going to feel that way when you're plugging into the chaos. And it's hard not to. How do you not plug in to a gorgeous town being burned down mysteriously and all kinds of the water was turned off. They just rezoned all that territory, and now the elite want to buy it at fire sale prices. It's land that's sacred to the natives. It's considered the heart of Earth. It's Lemurian land. How can you not get plugged in to some of this stuff? It's just and millions of acres and being burned and people being killed and shot every day in a war that makes no sense. how could you not get plugged in, right? Yes, it's important to know what's going on. Yes, it's very important to know that. But at the same time, as we keep reminding Karen, we're going to keep reminding all of you, find that knowledge, get that wisdom, and then use that wisdom to send light and love. We're going to have Karen do that in the meditation today, in the toning today. You want to just be sending love to those areas because that's the way the 5D amusement park, the 5D world gets built. It's one intention of love built on the other. Think about love as the brick. That's the brick that's going into building this new world. And the more times that you send that loving energy is another brick in the building. It's another brick to build it. That's how it's going to get built. And the reason it's not done is because not enough people are doing that yet. You need more people doing that. And that's when it will happen. That's when it will get established. That's when it will get done. All right. So we also want you to realize that inflammation in your body is from inflamed thoughts. What triggers you? Because again, we're going to remind everybody thought, word, deed. Thought is an electrical signal. And when you speak it, that electrical signal is sent out into the quantum field and attracts like molecules, which deed into reality. That's thought, word, deed. So when you are when you're getting upset and angry and how dare somebody, so and so, those beings, the men behind the curtains, how dare they do that? And you speak that, it goes right out into the field and it creates dis-ease. So whatever you can do, just catch the inflamed thought, realize that's where you can pray, that's where you can build a brick, send a brick of love. Just as Karen loves to do, bubbles of love. She likes bubbles. Whatever you like, use and build from there. All right? That is what you need to do. And the more that you are thinking, the more that you're angry, the more that you are focused on how dare they, that expands. And it keeps that world in place and in play. The more you focus on making a difference, lifting the vibration. If you like to sing, tone, set an intent, and just allow those vibrations to come through. Maybe you use a song. Whatever it is, you want to raise the vibration. Raise it. And the more that you do that, the faster the 5D world will evolve and grow. And that amusement park is going to be ready to go. But the old has to come down. It has to come down. And if you get angry, what you resist persists. Another law of the universe, what you resist persists. If you fight it, you give it energy. Think about it. Think about it. If you're fighting something, you're giving it energy. You're directly giving it force and power. That's why we had Karen tone for acceptance. Let it go. Accept that that's the 3D world not wanting to be destroyed and focus over here because that will allow this to crumble. You're not giving it energy. It can't exist without fear. It can't, that's its power. To get you afraid is how it gets power. And that's what sources it. That's its electricity. Really, flamed thought is its electricity. Is that really what you want to do? Is that what you want to feed? We don't think so. No, 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 no. You want to feed it over here. Now, Karen just finished a book she bought in 2010 that was written in 1999. And it's written by Lee Carroll, and it's a message that is channeled from Cryon. Some of you might know that name and have been following them for years. It's some wonderful wisdom. That's wisdom from his wise ones that he's bringing forward. But we're all connected to divinity at some point, so that's where it comes from. And it's mentioned about the secret world government, or as Karen likes to call them, the men behind the curtains. And he states in that, or Cryon, I should say, Cryon, states that the covert ways of this secret society that is done in darkness, once illuminated by the light of truth, will no longer have any power. In its very own name, it will no longer have any power. And she loved that idea that the more you illuminate the entities, the beings that work in dark, covert ways, they, they have no power in the light. And the truth is happening. That's why we ask you all to start praying every day for the truth to rise and shine. The truth is the light. If it rises and shines, it's spotlighting all of those beings and those covert ways of doing things, and you know, you put a beam in those corners, those eaves of the attic, you find what's hiding there. So we ask you to keep shining your light. Keep shining it. Keep focusing on what you want to create, not what you are angry about. Focus on that land in Hawaii. Like if you all send energy, if everybody went there and just sat in a circle and prayed, boom, it would start coming back something fierce. It's been proven. There's places around the world that couldn't grow soil or couldn't grow crops, and they prayed on the soil and boom, crops. Or plants in deserts, and you have all this kind of knowledge and wisdom known. So focus on what you want to create, and that's what Karen's going to do in the meditation with you today. We're going to focus on what you want to create for these areas that have been so challenged, so greatly challenged. And in doing that, you will illuminate the covert ways and the beings that are wanting to manipulate and keep the 3D world enslaved. The beings that want to hold humanity in a tyrannical hold and force and control everything that happens. And some people say, well, why are they allowed to do that? Why are they allowed to do that? And this is what we want to leave you with. When they do their dealings, and you turn and you plug in, you've agreed with it. Now, that sounds a little weird. That sounds anti-normal. But if you keep looking over here while they do that and you just bless that and recreate over here. No, you can't hide in the sand. You can't avoid that it's happening. You have to address it and go, we see you, and this is what we're going to create instead. You have to be able to see them. Karen, when people say, oh, don't, if you don't focus on it, it doesn't happen. It's not happening because you're not thinking about it. It's only happening because you are thinking about it. She just looks at them and says, Voldemort. Voldemort. Anybody who didn't see that movie? People were afraid to say the name Voldemort, the evil guy. Let's just say that Voldemort was the Hitler guy in that story, right? He was a being that wanted to control and destroy through witchcraft, which um, is kind of representative of some of the things happening in your world today. So, and Harry Potter wasn't afraid to say Voldemort. He wasn't afraid to say that name. And Karen says that to everybody. Voldemort. If you are afraid to say a name of something, if you are afraid to address something, if you are afraid to look at it, it owns you. It owns you. When you can look it in the face and go, I see you. No. God's children aren't for sale. No. That's when you take your power back from them into you and into source. No. We see you. No. We're creating this. And of course, you have to put them in light. Remember, light, the truth illuminates, and darkness can't hide. So when you can see it, when you can acknowledge it, when you can go, no, that's how they lose power. And that's how that 3D world will come down. And the 5D world will rise up. That's what we want to see too. All right, guys. We thank you. We thank you for tolerating our zaniness and our fun and our humor. And you have to lighten up this reality right now in your world. You have to find ways to lighten it up. And that doesn't mean laugh at it. That means accepting and creating something new over there. All right? That's how you get to peace. That's how you get to 5D. And that's how you create your new world for yourself and all that is. We thank you. Namaste. We look forward to being back in another 2 months. Bye-bye for now. Thank you, guys. Oh, thank you. Wow. So much information there to bring forward and to learn from. So it's time to tone, and I will, we're going to go into the meditation with the toning. So we're going to go with acceptance, and acceptance leading to peace. cho Kaya cho Kaya cho Okay, everyone. Let's do our meditation. So, we're going to specifically work on some of these areas that have been so greatly challenged, right? And first, we want to get centered. Now, one of the things I keep being reminded of over and over and over and over and over, and what just came up in a journey for someone, is that when you align, when we do the I am one with the unconditional, all-encompassing, loving light, and I ground with the crystal grid of Mother Earth, I root with the unconditional love of Father God, I align with my light's origination point energy and my oversoul and all my higher self aspects. I stand in the I am that I am, crystalline starlight radiance, my holy Merkaba light, radiating unconditional love to me, through me, from me, to me, through me, from me, 24/7, 365. Standing fully in my light's expansion. When we do that every morning, or whatever variation works for you, that is your dimensional bubble. That's your light's dimensional bubble. It is a shield, so to speak, even though light, love, doesn't need a shield. That's only ego needs to be protected, not love. Love is love. It's, light is light. Light will always expose darkness and always diminish it. So when you stand in your light's fullness, your holy Merkaba starlight radiance, that is the eye of the storm. That's where you can't be affected by the yuck and the ick happening around you in the world. So through the day, if you find yourself getting stuck and plugged in, unplug, plug back into source, and just get back to the I am that I am, standing in my crystal and starlight radiance. And you are back in your light, which is the center of the storm, the I. That's in your I am presence, right? So how you deal with the storm around you is you stand in the I am presence. So I wanted to point that out because I recently got that information, and that was really a great point to know about. And when I do that in the morning, when I take time and I don't like leap out of bed, I am in such a better place all day long. All day long. It's like then you can hear the news, you can hear what's going on, and you go, okay, sending love, sending light, spotlight that. So that's how you can deal with it much easier, all right? So in this place, we are going to call forth all benevolent beings from all dimensions throughout this universe and any others. We call forth love coming into one heart consciousness. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all this love that's wrapping around us. And we send light and love to the core of Earth and radiate it out, surrounding all molecules with bubbles of love. We send it to the light web, surrounding it with love. We surround the dark web in love. We violet flame all quantum entanglements to the dark web. We violet flame all areas that have been harmed on Earth. Lahaina, Ohio, Canada, Ukraine, Russia, Japan, China. We violet flame, violet flame. Greece, Mexico, US border, California with the earthquakes. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. We send love to all areas that have been torn by weather, all areas that have war or manipulation or cartels that are harming areas. We send light and love. We wrap all governments, all leaders, all organizations, institutes, agencies, businesses, tech companies, any group of two or more. We wrap them in ascension energy with bubbles of love, surrounded by impenetrable bubbles of violet flame. And we ask that any harm being done by any of these groups rapidly ricochets back to its source and implodes. That only love gets through the violet flame. We expand exponentially all quantum entanglements to the light web. All quantum entanglements to light. Light web represents unconditional love, loving energy, light beings, light source, all of that. That expands exponentially to the millions, trillions degree. We wrap all beings in healing cocoons of love and light. Anybody hurting, any areas that are hurting, love and light, love and light, love and light. We spotlight those areas. We bring light to them. We bring light to expose any darkness, any crimes against humanity. We wrap all children that are being harmed in any way, who are being sex trafficked. We wrap them in healing cocoons of love and light. And violet flame all quantum entanglements to the evil that is harming them. And any harm rapidly ricochets back to its source and implodes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this and greater. We ask that all farms, farmers, farmland, livestock, fields, fruits, vegetables, plants, all be wrapped in biofilms with all the nutrients and nutrition that they possibly could need, with the proper oxygen, the proper water, the proper air quality, water quality, and wrap them in impenetrable bubbles of violet flame as well. Any harm coming at them rapidly ricochets back to its source. We hold sacred and we ask for angels to surround all of our farm, all of our farmland, all of our animals and our species with light and love. And those that are held sacred be taken care of and held in the sanctity of our love. and any species that it is in the highest and greatest good to let go of, be let go of in love and light. As sovereign light beings, we intend, demand, and declare a financial structure that allows all people equal buying power in all countries based on an asset-backed currency, a currency that allows all beings the freedom to choose what they buy, the freedom to be unplugged from the matrix of control and manipulation about what we buy and how much we buy and where we buy. A healthcare system based on vibrant health and vital energy and vibrancy that vibrates us back in alignment to our light, to our creation point energy, to the Mother Central Sun. As sovereign light beings, we intend, demand, and declare a legal system, educational system that honors integrity and the truth. Governments that work for the people in harmony with Earth and Mother Nature. We intend, demand, and declare the opportunity to know the truth, to have all truth rise and shine, all crimes against humanity be held accountable and exposed. All those beings that have committed crimes against humanity be held accountable. We send the light push of food energy into the water, the soil, the air. We end all tyranny and violet flame, all tyrannical matrices on 1, 2, 3, now. We replace it with 5D energy. We plug into 5D. We plug into 5D and we plug into source. And we allow that energy to guide us, that energy to move us forward, that energy to expand us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We echo this prayer out to other planetary systems that can use it, that it will serve others with. We choose to know the truth. We choose to live in integrity. We choose 5D. We choose acceptance, oneness, accepting our brothers and loving them as we love ourselves unconditionally. We choose to grow and leap into that expansion and the golden age that has been promised by every religion on the planet. We choose this in the highest and greatest good for all. Namaste. Amen. Aho. And so it is so. 1, 2, 3. It is done. It is done. It is done. In the Trinity of 3. It is done. Now. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Namaste, everyone. Goodbye for now. Thank you, thank you, thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing this channel. It allows the expansion of this work, the expansion of this knowledge and this wisdom. We want as many people as possible bringing forward these prayers, bringing forward this intentionality, this commitment, and the truth. We see you. All God's children will be saved. Humanity, as sovereign light beings, children of Mother Earth and Father God, are intending and demanding our sovereignty as lights. That is our right. That is our soul's purpose and privilege. And it is time we step in it. Mwah. Namaste. Goodbye for now. And see you next month. Bye-bye for now.